I believe that in the rise of science-based fitness advice, we have lost the most important focus regarding what fitness is really all about. Falling to the pressure of strict form police and trying to dissect the exact perfect path of motion for the most amount of gains has made us almost frightened of performing an exercise before we can do it perfectly. And, especially for beginners, this can lead to feeling discouraged before you've even begun, and paralyzed during your workouts, which leaves you stuck obsessing on how to train instead of obsessing over training itself and just getting a good workout in. Here's my point. Fitness and exercise advice was made to benefit the person who's training. We were not made to perfectly perform the exercises. Exercises that benefit our bodies and make us stronger is what we should be seeking, not how to fit ourselves into the mold of an exercise to appease the opinion of a science-based exercise guru. In this video, I encourage you to look at standard exercises as a loose guide, a framework that you can build off of and around. Feel free to manipulate these standard exercises to best fit what you are trying to accomplish. I'm going to speak on how exercise manipulation can in fact make you far stronger, far faster than if you were just trying to fit your unique body and needs into a rigid science box that knows nothing about your true personal goals. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you enjoy bodyweight workouts and calisthenics content, and leave a like on this video as it goes a long way. So, what even is exercise manipulation? This technique is bending or adjusting standard, commonly taught exercises in order to better capitalize on the strength gains they offer, as well as to better fit your unique body's needs and goals. Now, calisthenics training is potentially the best form of exercise to integrate exercise manipulation into, because calisthenics only requires your body, the resistance of gravity, and very simple equipment, say a pull-up bar or rings. This means that you can essentially adjust any calisthenics exercise to create an easier variation, a harder variation, or an adjusted variation to complement your frame. For example, let's just say you were recovering from a shoulder injury and your range of motion was limited. You could adjust how you perform standard push-ups in order to continue training pain-free. If you experienced pain performing a standard push-up on flat ground, perhaps all you need to do is simply ease up on the resistance by performing incline push-ups, where you place your hands on an elevated surface to decrease difficulty. If that still hurt your shoulder, you can experiment by adjusting your hand width. Maybe diamond push-ups with your hands closer together puts your shoulders in a better position, or wide push-ups do. You can also adjust elbow flare to put your shoulders in a better position. Tucking the elbows closer to your body generally allows the shoulders to function in one smooth motion and decreases pain for a lot of people. And at the end of the day, if none of these sorts of adjustments work, there is always the exercise manipulation of half reps. If your shoulder injury prevents you from going all the way down, but your shoulder doesn't feel pain for the first half of the range of motion, you could still fire up your chest and triceps by getting in some controlled, high-volume half reps. I hope that basic example gives you an understanding of what exercise manipulation is. Again, it's not making up some wacky, brand new variation of a standard exercise just for the sake of it. It's intelligently adjusting elements of an exercise to better fit your goals and body. Now, you may understand how exercise manipulation could be useful when recovering from an injury to adjust for pain-free training. But how does exercise manipulation speed up your progress when you aren't suffering from injuries and can train exercises 100%? How can you hack all of your workouts with this technique to get stronger faster? One of my favorite ways to enact exercise manipulation is by using it as a sort of drop set technique during my workouts. I'll start my workouts by performing the most difficult variation of an exercise that I can safely and properly train. To go back to the push-ups examples, as they're on screen right now, I may start a push workout by performing decline push-ups. I'll train a few sets of this until I can feel my chest is fully pumped and I know that I can't get through a full set anymore without completely breaking down my form or hardly being able to perform a useful amount of reps. Then I'll manipulate the exercise again to make it slightly easier so that I can continue to push hard in a couple more sets. So, for example, a push-up manipulation after doing decline might be performing diamond push-ups on flat ground. Then, once I've exhausted myself to the point that I can't perform quality sets of diamond push-ups, my final manipulation technique might be switching to incline push-ups to finish off that drop set style workout. By not just performing one standard version of this exercise until failure, but actually manipulating the exercise in order for me to train past failure, I'm getting a way better workout in, pushing my body past its initial limits, and therefore encouraging it to grow and adapt to become even stronger next time. And the beauty of exercise manipulation, specifically regarding calisthenics workouts, is that you can truly do this with any exercise at any time. With pull-ups, you can perform negatives to train the exercise even if you can't do a full pull-up, or you can switch the grips from wide to narrow to hit different muscles in your back. You can go from pull-ups to chin-ups if you want to isolate your biceps a little more, or even hang from the bar and perform scapula pull-ups to better strengthen those muscles. Squats can be done in half reps to strengthen the top or bottom half of the range of motion, or done with your heels lifted off the ground if you struggle with ankle mobility. The list of exercise manipulation opportunities goes on, and this is such a useful technique to speed up your training, get stronger and more confident in various movements by training in slightly more difficult, easier, or specific ways. When I started training rows to supplement my pull-ups and train pull-ups with bands, my pull-up numbers skyrocketed in a short amount of time. If I had only trained pull-ups, trying too hard to execute them with perfect form every time, I would probably still be stuck with very low numbers and a lot of frustration. And this progression technique is something that you can't really do as effectively with a lot of weightlifting exercises. If you train with rigid gym machines, they're designed to only train in really one way, with one path of motion and a single-minded perspective on progressive overload by just piling on more weight. Allow the exercises to truly work for you and your goals and your body, and not the other way around. Do be careful not to manipulate your exercises just to make them easier when you don't want to push hard. This technique is not meant to be an excuse to train lighter or lazier. And exercises are also not meant to be manipulated into a variation that puts yourself in a position with higher risk of injury. If you're experimenting with a new variation of an exercise and you feel any sort of pain or unwanted discomfort, stop immediately. Be careful and listen to your body. Injuries just aren't worth it. Of course, exercises can only be manipulated and adjusted once you actually have the knowledge of which exercises to start with. That's why I compiled my free exercise guide, The 5 Essential Calisthenics Exercises. In this guide, I've listed the top 5 bodyweight exercises I recommend everyone master to establish a confident foundation of fitness. I include instruction on how to train them properly, as well as easier and harder variations of each exercise to get you started on how to adjust them to better serve your individual goals. Like I said, it's 100% free, available now on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link to it at the top of this video's description. And if you would like to learn how to train bodyweight rows in order to double your pull-ups, watch the video on screen right now. Subscribe to this channel to not miss any calisthenics content from me, leave a like on the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Until then, happy training.